This is the Demia Avery Show, hosted by Demia Avery, where some of your favorite entertainers, celebs, and entrepreneurs come to highlight all of their many talents.
Hello, everyone. This is Demia Avery with the Demia Avery Show. And oh my goodness, I have such a great show for you today. We have such an amazing guest with us. My guest has graced our hearts and our souls with her voice for over a decade. First, alongside her siblings, forming the gospel group, the Nevels sisters, with their hit single Company. And in recent years, she released a solo single entitled I Will Trust You, and continuing on with the legacy, her new single entitled Let Me Be the One is climbing the charts. Please welcome the very gifted and talented gospel artist, Gail Nevels Stringer. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Demi. It's so happy to be here with you today. Thank you for
Are,
having me.
you are so welcome. I feel such a I don't know, like a warm spirit when I'm talking to you. I don't know
Oh,
what that is, but thank you for it.
oh, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be your guest today.
Oh, you're so welcome. Now, so of course, many of us that, especially the ones that follow your career and your sisters, many of us know that you were brought up in church, of course, and
Yes.
you were in a group along with your sisters. Now, if you could paint a picture of your upbringing, I guess, what was that like for you, and how had that influenced your passion for gospel music?
Yeah, well, we came up in I'm a pastor's daughter, a bishop's daughter, and our upbringing was very, very sheltered.
Hmm.
Um, yes, and my father, he began to teach us to sing in the church that he was going to, which was Pastor Logan's.
Okay.
And then God formed a group. He taught us how to sing
Yeah.
there, and then when God called him to be a pastor, then he took us and started training us, and we started going with him over the roads and singing before he preached. And we were the choir at the church. We were the praise and worship leader at the church. I was the organist at the church because, of course, there was no members there at the church when he first started. So we
Uh,
were everything. And basically, our life was just basically church.
yeah.
We didn't have a outside, what you call outside life, because we were so much doing church work that we
Yeah.
didn't have time for um,
Yeah.
the fun that the kids have.
Now, I have to ask this question, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been asked this question as well. Were you guys sort of patterned after the Clark sisters? Was that the whole thing?
Well, not really, but we love the Clark sisters so much.
Yeah.
When we were little, we used to sit by the record player and just
Uh,
listen to everything that the Clark sisters made. Maybe it was in the choir, Dorinda singing songs in the choir, or the Clark sisters singing, but we absolutely love the Clark sisters and still do love the Clark sisters.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, was your love for singing? I heard you say the organ. Was your love for singing, was that like just expected of you, or is it something like when you were born you was like, okay, I know I love this thing, this is it, I know I love to sing? Was that just in you like that?
No, my father, like I said, he started training us and he started giving us our parts. You're
Mm,
going to sing alto, you're going to sing tenor, you're going to, but then as we became older and started getting, older in the ministry, then that's when we became into who we were. And I love to sing. It just delivered so much when you sing, it becomes a passion. It
yeah.
becomes, you see how the people are being delivered and touched. And while you're doing that, you're being touched.
Yeah.
So that's how it became, it
Yeah.
wasn't just born that, but it became that.
Now, I'm a big storyteller, so I love to hear like little stories and stuff like that. But I know that you're a solo artist now, but I love, like I said, reliving special moments. If you could tell me about maybe like an amazing time or performance that you had with your sister's performing. Is there like one specific time when you were just like This is awesome. This is amazing. Did you have it? Maybe it was your first one. I don't know. What was that like for you?
Yes. Um, we had a few, but this particular one I'm going to talk about when we sang for in the MGM. No, I'm gonna
Mm,
go back and pick another one.
okay.
When we were at Bishop Wagner's conference.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and pick another one. When we were at the convocation, the national convocation in Memphis,
Okay.
and we had to sing in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people at the
Hmm.
midnight musical at Mason Temple.
Okay. Okay.
And the Clark sisters, and I believe Kirk Franklin, and all of them were coming in, and all of the guests were had to be set up in the pulpit. And right before we come in, right before we go on, then they come in
Okay.
and take their seats.
Yeah.
And I look over to my sister and I said, I can't do it because they were singing my song. I said, I can't do it. She
Uh-huh.
said, what do you mean? I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. She said, well, you're going to have to do it.
Uh,
So the next they called us up there to sing, and we have this warm up that we always do. So you feel all alone. We warm up with that. And
uh-huh.
I'm just shaking in my boots because my song is the next one, which is Company.
Uh-huh.
And when we get that done, then we start singing I've Got Company.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just life changing.
Mm.
As I was sitting in my seat, I was telling my sisters I couldn't do it, but then I heard this voice, which was God's voice. And he
Mm-hmm.
came and he whispered in my ear out of all that noise, and he said, sing to me. And he
Mm-hmm.
kept saying that till it resonated in my spirit.
Yeah.
And when I got up there, we did the warm up, and then we started singing I've Got Company when I was
Yeah.
singing my, and before you know it, in front of all those thousands of people, I was out in the audience, way back in the back. And
Uh-huh.
when we got done, they couldn't even go on with the program. God had
Wow.
just taken over the whole thing, and that was just an amazing. We couldn't believe it. So
Yeah.
that was one. It's been many, but that was the first one that
Yeah.
we knew that God. It was just exciting and overwhelming, and we talked about it for a while. And then the people was telling us we didn't even have to have anything else. You know, it was just they were so blessed. So
I
God
love
really
that.
blessed us.
Get out here. I love it. Now
Yes,
going
ma'am.
solo, was that hard for you at all?
Well, that comes in another part of my life.
Hmm.
I have a story, but I'm going to tell you this part. The Lord, when I was traveling with my sisters, the Lord began to talk to me and minister to me and let me know He wanted me to seek Him more in
Okay.
depth. And when I was traveling with them, it would only happen when I was traveling with them when I start feeling a discomfort,
Mm.
not so much with them,
Yeah.
but a yearning that He wanted more from me.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I started seeking him. He said, I just want you to seek me. And then that's when I felt the nudge to pull away. He started
Yeah.
pulling me, and his voice was louder than any other voice. I was trying to ignore it. So one day we were getting off of the plane. We were with Norman Hutchins at the time, I believe it. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and my mother had taken ill in 2006. So I was taking care of her too, but I was going away on the weekend and then
Mm.
coming back. But I called her this particular time. It had got really strong because they had just sent a list in that we were going to be traveling extensively.
Mm.
And I knew God wanted me to pull back because we weren't ministering, but nothing, He wanted more from me. So
Yeah.
I called my mother and I said, Mom, God is calling me. He's calling me. He's calling me off the road. She asked me, she said, Gail, do you love God? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, do you want to get, she said, if you give it up, He'll give it back to you.
Mm.
And I hated hurting my sisters because I loved them so much. And I was a big part of the Neville sisters.
Yeah.
But God's voice drowned it out everything else.
Yeah.
And I went to them in the airport while we were going down the list. And I told them, I said, I'm pulling out. I'm pulling out now because God is calling me. And they said, could you just finish one more program with us, just one more? I said, he's calling me. So when I made that decision, it was the hardest decision.
Yeah.
But when I made the decision, is when I felt a peace
Yeah.
come over me, like I had done what he had asked me to do. I feel his presence right now
Yeah.
because it's so important to listen to the voice of God when he's calling you. I didn't
Mhm.
understand why he was calling me, but it was something that he wanted to do with me. And he began to tell me, Gail, each one of you have to stand before me yourself. We're not going to go in as a group. So it was something that he wanted to work out of me. So in that process, I came back. They were still traveling. And I came back and I was taking care of my mother. And I began to just minister at the church, praise and worship, and take care of her. And then he began to minister to me and say he wanted me to go out on the streets and into the missions.
Yeah.
And I was kind of embarrassed when he said that because I said, they're going to make fun of me. And they did. People made fun of me. But I began to go to the missions and on the street, and they would ask me, why are you out here when you can be on a large platform? And I said, well, God called me to this for a time.
Yeah.
And people began to get saved, healed, and added to the church.
Mm.
And I felt such peace at that
Mhm.
time. And there was a pastor that saw me, or they heard about me ministering out there, and I got a call. They said, I want you to come and minister with one of my choirs that I have here. They got
Yeah.
in touch with my husband, and I began to go minister there, and I sang there. And then the calls just started coming. People found out I was on my own, and they began to call me like that, reach out to my husband on Facebook because I didn't have Facebook at the time, but
Yeah.
I do now. So that's how that solo project started coming into fruition.
Wow. Now the style of your songs now. First of all, are you writing all of your material now yourself or do you have other
I'm writing
writers?
some, but this last song, Let Me Be the One, it was inspired by me. I told him what I wanted, and he
Okay.
wrote what I asked him to write. Let Me Be the
Mm,
One. But the other two, I wrote myself.
okay.
Yeah, the Lord
Okay.
began to start giving me songs and everything.
Mm, Now, if you could, the single that's out now, "Let Me Be the One." Why don't you share what is that song all about? If you could let us know more about that song, because I'm curious to know more about that.
Yes, a lot of people ask me, what does Let Me Be the One? Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Well, I was in my 4 o'clock prayer, 4 o'clock a.m. prayer one morning, and I was on my knees. And, of course, everyone can feel the pressure and the troubles that's going on in the world today. So much. People are failing to believe in God and they're leaving Him and thinking they have to carry the life on their shoulders and think He doesn't exist anymore.
Mm,
But I told the Lord, whatever I go through, no matter what I'm going through, I want to be one of the ones that stand for Him.
mm,
And I was on my knees and I could just hear the words saying, 7,000 have bowed. And it was inspired coming out of First Kings, the 19th chapter and the 18th verse, where Elijah thought he was the only one standing.
mhm.
And the Lord revealed and said, no, 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 I've got 7,000 that haven't bowed. And I just felt the presence of God. And I said, Lord, I want to be one of the ones that
Yeah.
stand for you. There's going to be a remnant because the troubled times that I want to be one of the ones that stand for him under any circumstances, anything that I'm going through. I want to be able to stand firm in what I believe and don't be tossed and driven by my feelings or my problems that I'm facing. I want to be able to stand on his word.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So, okay, I have this question, and out of all the songs that, whether it's been from yourself or with your sisters, anytime that you perform, is there a specific story where maybe you touched a fan or something and somebody came to you and said, what you just sang has maybe changed my life in some way? And if you have a story like that, do you mind sharing that?
Yes, there's been company. I've got company has touched a lot of people.
Mm,
Um, but this particular one, she just wanted to give up hope.
mm,
But when she heard us singing the song, I've Got Company,
yeah.
Goodness and Mercy, she didn't want to commit suicide no more. She
Mm,
was saying she was going through so much. But when she found out she wasn't alone, and when we were ministering, because God gave us this part at the end of company where I go and I minister to the people, and
yeah.
He'll direct me to a certain individual that needs it at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
And He'll touch them right, letting them know, listen, I see you. I see everything you're going through. You're
Yeah.
not alone. Dry those tears. I've got you. So it's been many of people, but just that one when we were in it was in Los Angeles, I think we had sang that
Hmm.
touched somebody very deeply. So
Yeah.
yes.
Would you say were some of your favorite gospel artists?
Yes, like I said, the Clark sisters was one of my favorite gospel artists. I loved them as a child growing up. Um, I love CC Winans. Of course, we're in the same bracket a little
Hmm.
bit. Um, anymore.
Now, were
Of
you
course,
allowed to listen to any secular music at all?
we wasn't, but we snuck and listened to them. I mean, on television.
I'm curious now. Now you know
We
to ask. Now, who did you sneak and listen to?
we didn't listen to it on television. I mean, we didn't listen to it on the radio or anything, but we would see it on television.
Okay.
And my favorite person was Tina Turner.
Oh, oh, how opposite, how completely opposite music was that for you? Oh my
I
gosh.
I just love Tina Turner, and that's where I was inspired. My
Hmm.
energy came from Tina Turner, believe it or not, because I would listen to her story.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
then to see her, I would sit there and I would cry off of her movie,
Yeah.
to
Wow.
see her. And it just seemed so real, you
Hmm.
know, and
Hmm.
she was so authentic. And I was really inspired by her.
Yeah.
She's
I
about
love
the only
that.
she's about the only one I was touched a little bit by. I liked it Whitney Houston too a little bit, but Tina Turner,
Hmm.
she was one that I really admired.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the part of the interview that I love to do. I get a little personal. It's fun though. It's fun, fun personal. So
Okay.
outside of music, eh, what other passions or interests do you have?
Wow. I'm gonna tell you. I love to sit at home and watch a movie with my husband and eat wings and pizza on a
Oh, yes.
Saturday. I absolutely love that. It is
Yeah.
just, I'm a homebody. If I'm not on the road or anything, I'm not looking to be, I'm in Texas right now with my sister, April,
Okay. Okay.
and her daughter just had a baby. So I came down here to check on them. And other than that, I'm at home or at church, but I love to be at home.
Ah,
That's
that is so
that's what I
nice.
love. Yes.
Okay, question number two. Name something that no one knows about you. Now, it can be something quirky, like, I don't know, like a bad habit or a good habit or something like that. Like I have somebody that has OCD and you would never, you would never even know that they have that. So name something that no one knows about you.
That no one knows about me. Well, I don't know. I used to be depressed.
Mm, mm,
The Lord healed me from depression. That's another, I did a little documentary on that.
okay.
Um, and I was also suicidal.
Wow.
But the
So
Lord,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
something everybody doesn't know about me, but I'm starting to tell the story because the documentary came out a little bit with I Will Trust You.
Mm,
And I was low.
Mm-mm.
Praise worship
Okay, I think I lost you,
with
Gail. Are you still
flow.
there?
But God, He healed me from depression. That's something nobody knows about me. So
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that is something. Are you still there, Gail? Because I think I may have lost you a little bit. Okay, there you go.
then hang up. I'm glad I didn't hang up.
Awesome. Okay. So this one is kind of fun. So I think you just told me the answer to this question. So name your favorite old school artist. It could be gospel, it could be R&B, but I think you just named it.
Yes, Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
Yes.
Awesome. Your favorite gospel. Give me your all-star gospel. If you name three gospel greats, who would your three would be?
Great gospel greats. I'm going to say um, the Winans,
Okay.
the Clark sisters, and I
Mhm.
love Fred Hammond.
Me too. You know who I love Fred Hammond, but I love commissioned more.
I say commission, both of them. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
commission. Just say commission because that's, yeah, commission.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, okay, cool. So, if someone wants to find you on social media or otherwise, how can they find you? How can they pick up your single? Let us know. Let us know how we can do
Yes.
all this.
I'm on Facebook. They can see me on Facebook, Gail Neville Stringer.
Mhm.
They can go on my website, gailnevillestringer.com. They can find me on Instagram at Neville Stringer.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we want to thank the very beautiful Gail Never Stringles for coming on the show today. And I'm going to make sure that I have all of her links listed below. I'm going to make sure that I have a link directly to her single so that you guys can not just look at it. We want you to buy it.
Yes. Oh, they can
want you to
download it on all platforms.
on all platforms. Awesome.
Yes.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Come back at any time. Any projects that you have, feel free to just hit me up and you can come back on the show. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Tamia.
Oh, you're so welcome. We'll talk to you later. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.